Hey everyone, it is so good to be here another week. I thank the Lord for the life and the energy and the ability to be here hanging out with you guys tonight on Minstrels Live. Tonight we're going to do something different, and I say different because we're just starting out and we're trying to figure out exactly what we can do to really serve our Minstrels students the best that we can, our impact users. And so we're going to do something a little different tonight. And what we're going to do is we're going to do this first half an hour just vocals. And then we started an entirely different stream that you could also find on our Facebook page and Twitter. I did a couple other little things there for you guys. That's just for the keyboards. That starts at 7:30. So right now I'm going to get straight away into the vocal lesson for tonight. And my hope is that this is really going to be material that is useful for you. This is kind of serves this evening kind of serves as a live tutoring event, so you can get on here and you can ask questions about whatever. And there's a chat window that I'm looking just at. Vocals, and then we started. Whoops, 1 second there. Sorry about that. And there's a chat page, and whatever you guys say, even though there's a 1 minute delay on the video, I can answer through the chat, and I'll do my very best to get back to you as quick as I can. So let's start tonight. Tonight our topic is be your best self, all right? And the reason why we're talking about being your best self is because there is a certain measure of not I don't want to say the word confusion, but we do get a little lost every once in a while in our life because we spend so much time inundated in music. I'm not sure if you've ever seen anybody. They're walking around, they have their headphones, and it's fine, just like this, right? But they have their white headphones on their iPhone or their whatever, their earbuds for their Android or whatever. I don't want to leave anybody out. All the Android users are going to post and be like, we hate you. But the thing is that a lot of times we're so inundated with music, and say we have our favorite artist, and as singers, what we do at times is we gravitate towards that certain artist. I remember when I was younger, there was this one IG that my cousin Sylvia sent me this morning, and it talks about how in the 90s everybody's song was you. There was a you in every song, right? And it's so true that a lot of times when you're in a certain time, a certain epoch in society, a lot of people, they have this certain artist that they gravitate towards. So everybody in the 90s was sounding like Boyz II Men. Like I remember there was this song, and I shouldn't even mention it on here, but there's this song by Boyz II Men, when I was in the world and whatnot, all right? And then Fred Hammond has this song, right? And it's a beautiful song, and I'm about to mess this up for you guys. But he has a beautiful song, and this song was called No Weapon, right? It's no weapon formed against me, right? Shall prosper. It won't work, right? And then it goes, God will do what he said he would do. He will stand by his word. Okay, now I know there's a lot of chords, you know what I mean? They have a very uncanny resemblance, you know what I mean? But this one, I was like, wait a second. This song sounds exactly like this song. But anyways, the point I'm making is that we are so influenced by music that we hear that if we're not careful, we will lose our own sound. And that's why I'm coming to you tonight, because a lot of times, instead of really building what God has given you, instead of refining and bringing out the best of what you are as a singer, a lot of times we spend time, we have colors, and that's fine to have influence, but our color is like, wait a second, you're listening to so-and-so, and that could be fine, but I want to make sure that you are grounded enough in your own God-given talent that you can really sing anything, all right? So, to be able to be your best self, you have to know what kind of singer you are. So here's a couple questions that I want to ask you tonight. What is the best way to be aware of what your best self is, right? So here's a couple questions that I want you to answer or kind of ask yourself. Maybe you could write this down. And for those of you that want the notes, what I will do is after this broadcast, it's probably going to be a little later after tonight, I will post these notes on the comments of this video so that you can go back and you can have all the notes that I am reading from tonight. There's 3 points we're going over, sorry. All right, so we're going to be doing the first one right now, which is be your best self. So here are the 3 key questions to being your best self. A, what is your key range, all right? And I won't tell you which one of my friends, now I have a lot of stories, don't I? But I won't tell you which one of my friends invited me in, and if he's hearing this, I love you, brother. I'm not mad. No, I'm just kidding. Well, one time we were doing this choir recording in Spanish, right? And I was privileged, and I really was privileged to be invited to be one of the tenors in the section, right? And we were doing this song by Hezekiah Walker in Spanish. Now, you all know Hezekiah Walker is renowned. His singers are like well known for singing in the nosebleed, section of life and doing it with ease. You know what I mean? They're like, ah! You're like, that's tenor. You know what I mean? And so we were trying to do this song in the same key as them, and I was like, all right. And my pride didn't allow me to tell him, hey, I can't sing in this key. So I spent that whole session singing in that key, the key that the original Hezekiah Walker tenor sang in. I kid you not. I was sick for like 2 weeks later. My throat was all messed up, and oh my Lord. It was a mess, and half of us were in the ER. No, I'm totally exaggerating, but the truth is, we got messed up because here's the idea. When you sing in a range that doesn't belong to you, if you could sing it, then sing it. But if you sing in a range that doesn't belong to you just so that you can say, I sing in the original key, you're not doing anybody a favor. None of your congregation is going to go back and key check, oh, praise to him. You know what I mean? They're not going to do that. It's better if you sing in a key that is for you. All right? So what is your key range? Now, I'm going to pull this piano up really quick so that you can see this. And my key range right now, I'm just going to guess, okay? It's what you can sing low and high comfortably. You can sing low and high comfortably. And I say comfortably because you might be singing, on a Sunday, and, the nerves kick in and everybody's watching, and you want to make sure this is something that you can sing. So my range right now is about, I wouldn't go any lower than that. I guess I can go to D. But nah, let's say comfortably the lowest note I can hit is E flat. And then the highest one, hey, 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 So the best I got is like E. All right, so I'm about E flat to E right now. So the best I would do, like, bless the Lord. That's the most I got. If I were to go up to, let's say if I were to go from A, to B flat, bless the Lord. You hear the strain? If I was a smart man, I'd go to G, bless the Lord. Right? Oh, my soul. Even that's a little high. And all that is within me, bless his. See how I'm trying to sing in a range that is comfortable for me. So you have to know, what is the lowest part of your range? What is the highest part of your range? And anytime you test a song, test it against those parameters, the lowest and the highest. Test your song that you're going to sing on Sunday in front of everybody with the best heart you have for the Lord. Test it. Make sure that the lowest part of the song is in your range and the highest part of the song is also in your range. This is a huge key. All right. The next question B is, what is your dynamic range? Your dynamics are referring to your volume, all right? So I guess what I'm trying to ask you is, how loud or how soft do you sing? And a lot of times you have to know who you are as a dynamic singer, because I'll give you an example. If you were to sing some song that's really, really, really strong, and you are naturally the type of person who has, you go to your falsetto, it's not going to be a good fit for you. Or if you have a girl that's supposed to be doing like Oceans, Spirit lead me where my trust is without borders. It's supposed to be all soft, right? Right? Well, if you get one of them sisters with them burly voices, Spirit lead me where my trust. And I have a compressor on this. This would be loud if I didn't have a compressor. Let me walk upon the waters. Ah, yeah. Oh, ah. You know what I mean? Like, this would not be a good thing. So you have to know who you are. So to be your best self, you have to know, what is my key range B was, what is my dynamic range? Am I more of a soft singer? Do I lean more towards falsetto? All right. And the other question that I want to ask you as it pertains to toggling, or excuse me, as it pertains to your dynamic ranges, can you toggle between them? All right. Can you go between your soft voice? You say, well, I can do soft and loud. Okay, good. Can you go between them? So let me give you an idea. This is kind of weird, but here it goes. All right. Let me give you an idea. So let's take, for instance, The Blood. Okay, everybody knows that song. Let's do it in F sharp because I think, yeah, that's okay. The blood. No, that's actually too low. Let's go to A. The blood. There you go. Now I'm gonna toggle between my range. I have my softer range, and then I'm gonna go into my more full range. All right. To show you that if you have dynamic range, you can do both soft parts and loud parts. You can create interest, and we'll talk about that another time. But you can create dynamic interest. This, by the way, is all in our impact. Yeah, shameless plug. Here goes. The blood. Now I'm doing soft. Jesus shed for me. Way back on Calvary. Oh, blood gives me strength from day to day. It will never lose its power. More soft, right? Now I'm gonna go louder. Oh, for it reaches, see that? To the highest mountains. And I went back soft, right? It flows to the lowest valleys. A little stronger. Valley, oh, that blood that gives me strength, oh, from day to day. It will never lose. See, I went lose. So I went for my full, and even though I was kind of, I know, a little weak, but it went into my falsetto. So I was showing range. I wasn't just going like, or foreign reaches. In the big parts, we were trying to show some dynamic range. Anyways, let's go back to this lesson here and make sure we're understanding what we're talking about. So yes, what kind of singer are you? Are you the kind that has more of a stronger voice, a soft voice? And if you do have both, can you toggle between both ranges? All right, here's another question. This is C, obviously, under Being Your Best Self, is what is your texture as a singer? Do you have a raspy texture like Lauren Daigle? Maybe a nasally texture like Babyface, huh? Everybody loves Adele. She has a very wide, like girthy texture, right? How about Tori Kelly? She has a very thin texture. If you ask me, I'm not very thin, like it's not, you know what I mean? All the Tori Kelly people are like stone me. Oh, Tori Kelly, we love her. You know what I mean? But it's thinner, you know what I mean? If you listen to her and you listen to Adele, it's two totally different things, you know what I mean? And these girls and men, Babyface is a man, you know, a lot of times we're like, oh, nasally. But dude, everybody loved Babyface, you know what I mean? And there is a way to do you know what I mean? And Babyface, if you ask me, he played to his strengths. All of his stuff was like, girl, it's been a long, long. And I was like, oh, you know what I mean? It was cool. You never catch him do like, you'll never catch him be like, R-A-S-P-E-C-D. Like, he'll never do that. But you love what he did, you know what I mean? And so my point is this, is that you have what you do. God has given you something, but you have to be in touch with what it is so that you can grow in that. All right. That was point number one, all of that. So we're going to try to get through this as fast as we can. We're already at 15 minutes into this broadcast. Number two, here's the number two key to becoming the best you, and that is this. Play to your strengths. Play to your strengths. Don't play to someone else's strength. Don't compare yourself with some other guy and, oh, but his range is so much better. Don't do what he does. You know what I mean? Be inspired by people, but have your own like thing, your own. You want to have your own message, your own sound. All right. And the way you are the best you is by playing to your strengths. So there's three ways that we play to our strengths, and some of this plays back in number one. But let's just say this. One of the things that you want to do is play to your strengths stylistically, or when it refers to like genre, okay? So you want to play to your strengths when it comes to style and genre. And you're saying, okay, well, what do you mean exactly by play to your strengths when it comes to style and genre? Well, what I mean is that there are certain styles that lend themselves better to your voice. And sometimes it's not even the styles that you like. I used to say, well, maybe it's something that you like, but the truth is, I'm realizing myself as a singer, there are certain styles that I like that I cannot do. I believe I'm such what's the word, an appreciator of music, that there are certain styles that I love. You know what I mean? There's this one dude, a new dude. Oh man, I can't remember his name right now, but he has a song called I Just Want to Say. And it's like, friends have come and gone, you remain faithful, constant stream of love poured out for free. But he has a very jazzy style. And even though I like to sing what he's singing, I would not want to hear a recording of me singing it. Do you see what I'm saying? So what I have to do is I have to kind of find what styles fit or suit my voice the best. And ladies, this is easier for you to understand than it is for us men. Have you ever seen a dress on a hanger, in JCPenney, for all you financially conscientious, beautiful young ladies? Or maybe you say, oh, I'm not financially conscientious. I just let the Lord bless me. Well, okay, fine. At Nordstrom, wherever you go, H&M, right, which is between both worlds. It's kind of like expensive, but kind of chill. But have you ever seen a dress and you're like, oh, that is me? The Lord inspired that designer, you know what I mean, to make that dress on my behalf, and I give him honor and glory, right? And so you go in and you try the dress on, and it's not you. It's like, oh, this is a great style, but it's just not you. And then you put something else on, and you're like, this is perfect. It didn't even look that cool in the hanger, but this is perfect, right? So what I'm saying is that there are certain dresses that fit certain girls a certain way, and you don't get all mad over it. You're like, well, that dress is just not for me. That style is just not for me. What my mom wears is not what I wear. Maybe a mother out there is saying, well, that young girl wears is not what I wear. It's different. Everybody has their own style. And the thing I've come to find over the years is that if you are genuine about the style that God has blessed you to sing, you will have somebody that you can bless. A more carnal way of saying it is that everyone has an audience. You know what I mean? So I want to encourage you to play to your strengths when it comes to your style. B, not finally on this part. B, there's three of these. Play to your strengths as it pertains to song choices. And when I'm saying song choices, I am talking about content. You have to begin to choose songs. You have to be wise about what you choose. Choose content that has material or subject matter that you can genuinely emote, or in other words, you can have real emotion towards it because you really do connect with what that song is saying. And one of the things that I found is that if you don't really connect with what a certain song is saying, then it's going to be really, really difficult. I had a song a while back called "Lead Me to Jesus," and I'll show you a little bit. It goes no. It's high. Sorry. I've been sick for so long, could no longer go on. Is there an end to this relentless pain? And then watch this. I've had an issue of blood all of my life. Try to find an answer, only to find more pain. All right, so That song is about the woman in the Bible with the issue of blood who touched the hem of Jesus' garment. Remember that? And when she touched him, he was healed. But see, the part of the song that talks about I had an issue of blood, it was something, I'm talking about this woman in the Bible, and I just couldn't connect with it, right? And I wrote the song, and I was like, I'm going to give myself the solo, right? Well, it didn't work out that way. After a while, I was like, wait a second, something's not connecting right here. And even though I love this story, it was better emoted by my cousin Julissa Alvarez. And I called her, I said, hey, Julissa, I have this song. And man, she came in and she blew that song out of the water with her eyes closed. I tied her little hands behind her back, you know what I mean? And it was something awesome. And that's because the choice of the song now fit with her. The content, it was being sung by somebody that now really, really, really could connect. So make sure when you make a song choice, play to your strength by choosing stuff that you yourself connect with when it comes to the content, okay? And then when it comes to playing to your strengths, play to your strengths range-wise. And we talked a little bit about this in the first part of this lesson. But play to your strengths range-wise. Don't sing songs that are going to set you up for failure. You know what I mean? Don't sing songs that are going to set you up to crack. You know what I mean? And you say, oh, but I have a big desire. Oh man. Okay. Make sure that your practice time and your technique and doing your weekly exercises, make sure that is something that you are like on it. You know what I mean? You're on top of it. And this is my main point when it comes to playing to your strengths with your range. If you can't do the song well in private, it's more than likely you will not do it well in public. So always make that your general rule of thumb. If I'm not hitting this song range-wise in my private practice, I'm not going to just go up and be like, oh, brothers, I just got hit with the song and I just want to bless you with it today. Like, don't do that to yourself. I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to bless the people tonight. Do not do that. Make sure that you practice. God deserves the very best. Oh, man, I should just preach right now. I'm just kidding. I'm telling you, if you practice more, you will know in private. What you do in private will tell you what you can do on stage. All right? All right, great. All right, finally, the third thing to becoming a better you. This is probably one of the most important things I'll ever say. I could do a whole series on this number 3 point. Get honest feedback. Get honest feedback, all right? And the thing that you should know about feedback is that feedback is like a mirror, The only way that you can get better, you want to get better, don't you? Is by seeing yourself through someone else's ears. And I know that's a play on word, but you have to see yourself. And you can't see yourself. They say that nobody's ever really heard themselves because when you talk, you're hearing yourself bouncing, your voice bouncing back from like walls and coming back to your own ears. You don't really hear what other people are hearing. So what you have to do is you have to get honest feedback by finding a listener. So there's 2 main points that I want you to get here. You want to get an educated listener and you want to get a typical listener. You want to get an educated listener, which is somebody like a musician, a vocal coach, a singer that's pretty good. And then you want to get a number 2 thing. You want to get a typical listener. And this is someone who is not a musician. Try not to make it your mom because she'll love everything that you do. All right. Don't make it your dad, ladies, because young girls, because he'll be like, oh, babe, you're the best. You know what I mean? And he's going to, we're not dumb. I'm a father. I have 2 girls. They better not come to me for vocal training because I'm going to be like, you're the best ever. You know what I mean? Make sure you get an educated listener and sing in front of them and, see what they think. Ask them, what do you think? What do you think of what I'm doing? And get their feedback and write it down. Get that person, that brother that maybe is the choir director, or get the person that plays piano, whatever it might be. And if you do that, I really, really do think that's going to go a long way. Then do what I do. I ask my wife. And you say, are you saying your wife's a typical listener? Yes, my wife is a typical listener. She's not a musician. You know what I mean? She's a producer's wife, and now she understands all the lingo and stuff, and now it's a little bit more difficult. But when we first got married, she was just a typical listener. All the music that I thought was like, that's whack, whatever. She was like, this is so awesome. And what's funny is that what I didn't think was cool, she thought was cool, but what she thought was cool is what everybody else was listening to, the general population. See, I wanted to just listen to, jazz, like, you know what I mean? But what she was doing was something that was more popular, and those kind of people represent the majority of the people that are going to be listening to you sing. People that are sitting in the church are not all musically inclined. You know what I mean? So, those are the 3 things that you want to do to become the best you. Be your best self by knowing what kind of singer you are. You have to ask yourself the 3 questions. What is your key range? What is your dynamic range? What is my texture? Number 2, you want to play to your strengths stylistically in song choices or content, right? And then play to your strengths in your range. Very, very big key. And then finally, you want to get honest feedback. Get an educated listener, somebody who knows, and then get a typical listener, somebody who doesn't know. Guys, I don't see any questions on the chat tonight, and so I won't answer that. But what I do want to tell you guys is that I love you, and I hope you come back. This is usually for MPAC users, and so what that means is that when you buy an MPAC at Minstrels TV, minstrelstv.com. Sorry, I don't even know my own website. Minstrelstv.com. When you go over there and you buy an MPAC, this night of just live teaching and stuff like that, we take questions and all that kind of stuff, is included with all of your curriculum. We have about 8 weeks of just video curriculum, and this is in addition to that, so we can show you more stuff about singing. It's kind of an ongoing thing that we're doing. You can go on there tonight, and it's great. You get a bunch of stuff. Look at it for yourself, minstrelstv.com. And love you guys. We hope you guys have a great night, and we look forward to talking to you guys on the next time around.